Hello and welcome to another Apex Legends video. In this one I'm going to be going over repositioning as well as why it's very important to always hold the high ground. Always holding the high ground will allow you to push the advantage should you or a teammate deal a lot of damage, or if needed, fall back and heal it with ease. Also, it's very important to win a 2v1 situation, you need to have the high ground. In this video, all of my examples are going to be me playing as Pathfinder, however similar principles apply to every character in the game. Some crucial components of repositioning are going to be timing, as well as map knowledge, because without these two things, you will not know when you need to reposition, or exactly where you need to go. When in a 2v1 situation, your first objective should be downing one of your opponents, and then immediately repositioning and taking the high ground. With this newly acquired high ground, you'll be able to heal up from the first engagement and then continue the fight on an even 1v1 playing field. When it comes to the fight you're seeing now, you'll see me sacrifice my high ground, because in Apex Legends, you are extremely vulnerable when climbing, so I chose to give up my high ground and kill the lifeline while she was vulnerable. Immediately after this, a second duo approaches, so I retake my high ground, allowing me to heal up uncontested, unable to be hit by enemy bullets, because of the height that I held. However, they wisely pursue me, causing me to lose my height advantage, so I go for another reposition away from my opponents. After this, I apply that first principle of knocking down one of my opponents. Also, it's very important to realize that when going for this first knockdown, it's perfectly okay to take a lot of damage, because with this proper positioning that you have, and the attainment of high ground, you'll be able to heal up a decent amount before his teammate can get to you. Even more so, some players will try to revive their teammates if they consider you low health or far away, so when the skitty goes for the revive, you'll see me heal up only halfway and push him and kill him with ease. It's okay to sacrifice positioning to prevent the revival of an enemy you worked so hard to knock down. In this next fight, you'll see me try to climb up the wall for a slight height advantage. However, I take some damage, so I decide for a better reposition it's going to be needed to win this fight. I fell back to a place I felt comfortable with, but then I take some more damage and decide that I need to reposition once more. This time I'll use my zipline, which brings up another important point about oftentimes what you use to take the high ground, the enemy may be able to use that as well, whether it be a zipline, a jump pad, climbing, etc. However, this Horizon chose to follow me, which means that she separated herself very far from her teammate. I knew that I could pursue her after this and kill her in a 1v1 situation. After knocking this Horizon, I knew I had plenty of enough health to kill the Bloodhound without the need of good positioning. So, I'm going to slaughter some aim right here, but don't worry about that. I clearly had enough health to beat this guy without the need of high ground. Now in this next fight, you see me climbing up this hill. I foolishly chose to engage both of my opponents before separating them with good positioning, so make sure that even though I had the high ground, I need to separate my opponents in a 1v2 situation. However, I'm able to get out of this bad spot because of my grapple, but if you're not playing Pathfinder, it's even more important to realize that you've got to separate your opponents. After the grapple, I find myself in a really good position with the separation of the duo, and I only need to take one battery before I can stand up and kill both of my opponents with only taking about 30 damage for a whole duo, just because of that slightly bit of height that I held on both of them. Now the final fight, you'll see me here in just a second. I chose to engage a little bit too early. I should have waited patiently before engaging, because if I got a little bit closer, I could have hit more shots, allowing me to do more damage, as well as possibly even knock out one of my opponents. Instead, I deal only a little bit of damage, and proceed to need to heal after I get hit as well. So I heal up next to these rocks, a full battery to make sure I had enough health to win this duo, and then I climb the rocks and down the Bloodhound. After this, I'll use those slightly bit of rocks that I had to try and engage this Revenant. However, he does a lot of damage to me, but for me personally, I keep track of how much health my opponent has, so I was able to free-fire him and win the 1v1. Alright, that's going to be the end of this video. I hope you all enjoyed something. I hope you all learned something about repositioning, as well as why it's important to hold the high ground. If you liked it, subscribe, like the video, and thanks for watching.